I want to make sure when I put out my brand, I'm putting out my authentic self. That doesn't mean that I need to tell everything about myself.
No.
It just means that what I put out there is authentic. And so I think that's really important in developing a brand. Wouldn't you say that?
Absolutely. Getting to the heart of what you really want. Because like I said, if that's what you feel as if you are passionately urged to do, then do it. But don't be what you think everybody else wants you to be.
And don't be a copy.
Yeah.
Don't be a copy. That's one of the things. I was just talking about this, so I want your feeling about this. We have a couple of girlfriends who this is the birthday season. All these babies are coming up and becoming new grandmas and everything. And everyone is doing these photo shoots.
Oh, yes.
With the babies, you know, with their pregnant babies. Now this is something totally new, because when I was pregnant, I did not want anybody seeing my big old body, baby, everything. But this is now new, and it's fabulous. Yeah. It's fabulous. People are proud of it, and they're doing all of these major photo shoots. But almost all of them are being modeled after Beyonce's Under the Water.
Yep.
With the flowers everywhere, photo shoots. So I was saying to my New York daughter, when they do those photo shoots, don't they think I'm just copying what Beyonce did? Or do they think I'm doing it my own way, or this is just cute and I want to do it? What do they think? Because I think it's a copy.
I think that some people don't care that it's a copy. Okay. Some people I just want to let me have my Beyonce moment.
Okay.
And have this going. Now I do follow a couple of like YouTubers and Instagrammers that are pregnant, and they go like way above and beyond and do like these galactic shoots that are just really weird and off the wall but pretty.
Yes.
But for the average person, they don't care.
They don't care.
I just want to take this, you know, picture with these flowers.
Yes, yes. And what I did say about the Beyonce shoots is when time passes, when that little one is 5 and they're looking at their pictures of in their mommy's tummy, they're not going to be like, Mama, you copied Beyonce when you took these pictures. They aren't going to notice that or even reflect on it or any of that. So that's my thing. But I just like, oh, okay, the 5th picture of flower crowned and the flowy dress and at a pool or something like that.
I feel like it'll just be like everything else, like it was a trend. Like
it's a trend. It's a trend.
My grandmother has this furniture in her house that has been there like since before I was born, and it's like this
grandmama's furniture.
Yes, it's like this black marble, and then and then because she lives in Detroit, and I don't know why all these houses have this, but they're like full wall mirror, like the whole living room just has a wall that's just a mirror.
Yes,
and that's just it. And I'm like,
she reading my mail. People, all my family got one of those walls.
And I was just looking at her because they moved in that house before my mom was born. So I was just like, well, what was this? And she was like, well, you know, that was just a thing. It was a thing to have all this stuff. We thought we were shard, you know. This was it. And I feel like
it's so true.
All the trends that people are doing, it would be just like that.
Yes, but don't get caught up in making your whole brand around trends.
Yes.
Know what your authentic self is, even if you like some of the trends and you integrate some of the trends into your brand every now and then, but you can't be branded as a trend.
Yes.
That every time the trend changes, you change, because that will make it difficult for people to really connect and engage in your audience to really find who you are and connect to who you are.
It loses that sense of consistency, right?
Yes.
Because if I'm saying that something is truly me, there are going to be certain things that will never change.
Yes.
And for you to have a constant shuffle of what's going on is very confusing to people, and you will easily lose an audience.
Yes, very good. We don't want to lose our audience. We want to continue to build our audience. That's the whole purpose. Okay, so what if we don't have a brand?
Okay, so people tell me this all the time, and I've even worked with orgs. It's just like, we don't know what's going on. We don't have any brand. Can you give us a brand? And it's like, pause. because everybody has a brand. Even if you think that you don't have a brand,
everyone has a brand.
Everybody has a brand.
Everyone has a brand.
Absolutely. I myself, as a student here at MSU, have a brand.
Okay.
And there are things that I do intentionally that people wouldn't necessarily know, like how I dress in the day to day. I actually have like a nose piercing that nobody knows about, that is always tucked away at work. It's always tucked away in functions. It's tucked away when I'm in class, just because I don't know who I will run into. I wear blazers all the time with gym shoes, just to be like, okay, this is me. This is who I am. This is what you're gonna get.
You're gonna get some professional.
Yes.
Even though she's a student.
Right. And so that's that there. But to segue into a more so known individual, recently in the past like year or so, Will Smith has done a great job as far as, you know, getting himself out there.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, he is his brand.
Yes.
Right.
Now, let me tell you, I will binge watch Will Smith's YouTube channel. He has 6.2 million subscribers. 6.2 million subscribers. And his vlog is wonderful. But one of the reasons why I think it's wonderful is because he really does give you tips on how to continue to push yourself, your brand forward, what he's learned in all of these years of being Will Smith, what he has learned to sort of be Will Smith and to push his whole thing forward. And so you gain a lot of information from his, but then he's just funny and wacky.
Will Smith.
He's Will Smith. And he's married to Jada. And so you get all of the family and the kids, and now his kids are doing iconic things. And so I love all of that about his brand. But his brand, he talks about, we were talking about this a little bit before, he talks about how for so many years, from the point of Fresh Prince on to really his movie star career really exploded, he was extremely protective of his brand, and to the point of where it built up some fears for him.
To be transparent. To
be transparent. He just was extremely protective. I know that same thing to be true for Beyonce. For a long time, she was very shrouded. Private. She was fiercely private, would not share anything.
We didn't know that she was married until like years after. Years after. It was a big question mark there for a while.
Yeah, and they just very protective of their private life. But in a sense, in today's world, maybe 20, 30 years ago, I kind of like the private movie star, because you could kind of make up whatever you wanted about that movie star to help fulfill your even fantasies about them.
To give you an example of an author, you know, JK Rowling was JK because, one, she's like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm female.
Yes.
And two, to have the fierce sense of privacy. You don't really know what's going on.
Yes, that's so true. Stephen King was that same way. Very private. Almost a recluse, almost, to kind of protect their privacy. But fast forward to today, privacy is not really looked upon as a great thing.
It's not.
Because of social media, you have to have a public persona, a public brand, and putting out images or photos on Instagram, which is what Beyonce started to do, putting herself out there. JK Rowling started doing far more. Once she knew that she had secured that success, secured that bag, she started doing far more interviews, and now she can be downright snarky and tell it like it is when it comes to her political beliefs.
I love a good JK tweet.
Yes, her tweets can be on fire sometimes. And then same thing with Will Smith. He has recognized that opening up their his career to the public has made some extreme gains for him, and that's what he's done in this last year of being Will Smith, of still just being Will Smith, but making it a little more available to the public.
And this goes to like your best self, because we always loved Will.
Yes, he wouldn't be who he is if we hadn't always loved the kid from Philly.
Right. But for him to say, okay, this is really me and this is who I really am, you have so many more people who are drawn to him and who say, you know what, I just want to support.
Yes.
At the end of the day, people just want to sit down and be like, I could be friends with that person.
Yes, yes. So
that's really
yes,
what that is.
definitely. That's how your audience finds you. The more you put out there in one form or another, remember we're saying do what you can handle. Yep. Do what you can handle. That was a big message in our other vlog. Do what you can handle on social media. But as you figure that out, they will find you based on that authenticity, based on you putting out that brand. There are a lot of people who are snarky, and I love them. I follow them because that's not me. And it's sort of like that opposites attract. And I'm like, okay, yes, they are.
They are messy.
Yes, they're messy, I love them. And I can get with them. So who else? We talked a little bit about Beyonce sort of exposing herself through Instagram and building even a larger platform. And then Will Smith having this brand out there through YouTube and building this even larger platform and sharing some truths about the career, about being a personality out in the movie star space.
Yep.
And then who else are some other ones that we can look to?
Well, during this process, I like to look at people for an account, just to get like, okay, here's what we're going for. But I also really, really love to look at very established brands, right? Because, and like I said, this is something to aspire for. They have actual teams working behind them. So
all day, that's all they do.
That's all they do.
Social media.
They work
their
9 to 5.
40-hour work week is social media. So let's just put that in perspective so we're not feeling overwhelmed like, oh, I'm not doing enough. There are people who get paid 40 hours plus to do nothing but social media. So do what you can do.
Exactly.
Okay?
But there are a lot of great tips that you can take away from them.
Yes.
So, for instance, I really love to use like the North Face and Nike, because they have like through and through perfected their brand over time.
We know North Face is a what?
North Face is typically going to be a white male who's about 35, likes to go hiking, likes to do all the outdoorsy type of things.
I can see the mountains in my visual right now.
You see them up there hiking with the rope.
Yes.
and going. And that's really, you know, kind of what they embody. Even they have a mission statement and kind of like a brand mantra that puts through, and I want to say like one of the lines is like, no matter what, we will prevail. We will climb to the next mountain. Yes. We will swim 50 yards further. So they really embody that active white male, higher socioeconomic level.
That's who their target is. Now, does that not mean me who's not higher socioeconomic level or white male can't purchase? No. And actually my kids love it.
Let me touch on that, because the thing about it is they perfected so good for the outdoors and for that white male that we notice and say, hey, they make real good products. if he can be out in the snow in this, I could wear this for a winter jacket. So
that's exactly it.
That's
it then begins to permeate all of culture, and everyone is able to say, "Oh, wait a minute, they're out." My mother, good story,
right?
My mother, who is a 70-plus-year-old, almost 80-year-old woman, wanted to buy her grandbaby some jackets, and she was like, "I think I want that North Face brand because they say they keep them real warm.
Yes.
They keep them real warm." Now she not ever gonna hike. She don't know no white men.
That's exactly
she
right.
She got a higher socioeconomic, but she was able to associate that brand to it's gonna keep my grandbabies warm, and she was to go find her grandbaby's North Face.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's honestly what happens a lot of the time, you know, with people who are looking for something that's going to last.
Yes.
And once you get that brand and that name, that's going to be there. And the same thing goes for an author. Once I say, okay, this person has put out this is how this made me feel. I really was drawn to it. I really like it. Her next books are going to be of that same level.
Yes. You just keep buying the book. So as an author, yeah, it's okay to switch up, but whatever is that one thread that links your brand to your writing, keep that in there. Like in my books, there's always a sense of hope is going to come out of it, no matter what the situation is. It might be a love story, it might be a coming of age story, it might be some trauma, but there is hope that is a thread that runs through my stories, that someone who wants to connect to that will continue to purchase those books. So let's talk about Nike. So so their brand, what do we know? And we all know Nike. So what do we know about Nike?
Just do it.
Do it.
In that simple phrase, they have created a community that rallies behind just do it, right? And initially, of course, it was just sports, right? But once again, if you make a good enough jumpsuit that will eventually support Zion Wilson, I know it's going to support me and my size 9 feet.
Yes.
And I'm going to look good while doing it too. And so that is one thing that is always carried throughout them. And then just like the attitude of Nike and who they are and what they provide is always something. And then now even they're starting to, although this is a very, very strategic business move, move over into justice issues.
Yeah, social justice issues.
Right.
But one of the great things about Just Do It is I can put that up on my writing wall, and it's going to make me think of getting that writing done. I could put it up above my treadmill, and it's going to make me think about getting my walk in.
Absolutely.
I can put it up above my office door, and it's going to make me think about plowing through my emails. It's broad enough that it makes you can put it into any realm, and it's going to motivate you to just do it. And so, you know, there is something connected to being specifically broad.
Yeah.
Specifically broad, that you are specific in what your purpose, your brand is, but it's broad enough to attract
or to pivot, so to speak.
To pivot in several different ways.
Because of course that was just made for athletes, but you see how it can be applied to so much more.
Yeah.